Do you know this tiny country in the Middle East is world-renowned for its nightlife? Welcome to Lebanon. And as a full-time traveler who loves a good rave, I went to go see what all the hype is about. So many clubs and a million things to do every single night of the weekend. Honestly, some places are even pretty packed during the week. Lebanese are a time and a half. They live in the moment like no country I've ever been to, and this really translates to the party scene. Because this was quite a spontaneous trip for me, I unfortunately didn't pack that well. I originally planned to go to some famous venues such as Sky Bar, require that you wear high heels and wear more formal attire. I think the true Lebanese party experience is getting a table with a group of people. And luckily, on my second day, we got adopted by the sweetest family of all time and got invited to their birthday party. Definitely not normally a table person, but I can promise you this night was one of the most fun of my whole life. One thing I wasn't quite prepared for was how expensive nightlife is here. Anywhere from $50 to $150 to get into a good club for the night. Expect to be charged a lot as a foreigner for drinks. Bartenders kept changing their price $10 to $20 for a cocktail, and I think I paid around $8 for a beer. Based on my current experience, I would put Lebanon in my top 5 countries for partying, and I've been to pretty much all the top spots around the world. I'm definitely planning a trip back soon because I would love to go to an actual music festival, but even in this 1-week trip, I feel like I managed to pack in so much and it was such an unforgettable experience. And I love reviewing places around the world, so be sure to follow along for more travel and nightlife content. Ciao. Is Lebanon an affordable destination to travel to? Here's everything I spent in a day in Beirut. This hotel cost roughly $155 a night, split 3 ways. Took an Uber to go get breakfast. Most drivers will charge you more than it actually shows on the app. On average, we're paying around $5 per Uber ride. Breakfast for 3 people was $11. This was a very local spot, pretty affordable meal by Lebanese standards. Coffee for $2. There's definitely cheaper coffee, but this one was really high quality. Then we met these really nice girls in the cafe who drove us around to go run some other errands. We bought some cherries for around $2.50. I snagged a few perfumes as gifts, so I got 4 little bottles for $16. Pretty necklace for $148. They're gonna custom make it for me. Amazing lunch place called Laki's Farm. Split a bunch of dishes as well as hookah, and it broke down to about $20 per person. Because we got randomly invited to a birthday party that night, $8 on this bottle as well as $3 on some mixers because the clubs here are pretty expensive. Common that you actually just split a table in Lebanese clubs. So at the end, we ended up paying $80 each. And within that, I probably had anywhere from 5 to 7 drinks. And then of course, what's a night out without the snack after? So we went to this really good spot and grabbed various pastries for $10. So this brings my entire day spent to nearly $350, keeping in mind that $150 of that was the necklace and $80 was the night out. You have to pay cash for pretty much everything. So especially if you're coming from the US or Europe, bring as much as possible because it's going to make your life a lot easier. Although this is far from an affordable place to travel to, I've had such an amazing experience in Lebanon and I can't recommend it enough. Despite travel advisories, I traveled to Lebanon recently, and because I booked this trip 2 days before, I honestly knew very little going in. So this is everything I wish I knew before traveling to Lebanon. You're going to want to budget at least $100 to $150 per day and bring that amount in cash. Most things are priced in dollars. Felt incredibly safe compared to other Middle Eastern countries I've been to. Invisible walking down the street, but in a very positive way. Lebanon is very small, even smaller than the state of Connecticut. There's an amazing nightlife scene here. However, it's a lot more formal than what you might be used to, so make sure you pack some high heels and fancy outfits. I'm dying to come back in the winter because they also have amazing ski resorts. I was under the impression that I was going to have to pay $80 to $100 for a visa on arrival. However, they just get me in and I didn't have to pay anything. Make sure that your passport has no stamps from Israel. Another surprise is that Lebanon has practically no public transportation. There are some buses, but they're not really run by the government and there's not really an easy way as a foreigner to figure out where to go. Driving is also very scary. Hire a taxi driver for an entire day and you can kind of go see whatever you want to see for a set rate. Although Arabic is the official language in Lebanon, practically every single person I met speaks both French and English, but Lebanese also really appreciate it when you learn a teeny bit of Arabic. Even our taxi driver was giving us Arabic lessons. I've traveled a lot around the world, and Lebanese are the kindest people I've met by far anywhere, so if you need anything at all, you're gonna have a million people offering to help you, giving you advice, making sure that you have the best experience possible. Don't go there with too many plans because you want to have some spontaneity, and all my best memories kind of spawned out of serendipity. You're gonna have an amazing experience in this country. Follow for more and ciao.
Wow, so she's put for her top 5 Kiev, Berlin, New York City, Budapest, and Beirut. But that's really like separated out. I love how the UK is not in there. That's quite funny. Fair enough. You know, I will keep those in mind. My friends love travelling. Really interesting. Really not so surprised that it is expensive. I think anywhere you go now, I think with cost of living, anywhere you go, like even people are like, oh, this country is so cheap, blah, 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 blah. Like there will be a rise of living, and $150 to enter a club? No, thank you. Even if it's the best thing in the world, no. But yeah, fair enough. I'll keep this in mind. You know, I'll see what some of the comments says. Thank you for visiting my country. You're always welcome. It's the best nightlife. I love it there. Do you know what? I'll keep it in mind. I'll write it down on my list of travels.